Jagatisha Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannatha Nama Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Pachitana Bhavebhinyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvise Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutade Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surator Pango Mama Manda Matergati Matsavashva Padambojo Radha Madana Mohanam Didaya Kopa Drumadja Srimad Ratnagara Simhashanastaho Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Paishalabi Sevyamano Smarami Srimad Asara Sarambi Vam Shivata Tatachita Karshan Venus Vanaya Gopir Gopinata Shri Estutna Vrindaya Tulasi Devyai Priyaya Keshavashvacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sachavate Namo Namah Chatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Svarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I can sing for Guru. You want me to or something? Gurudev Kripa Bindu Jia, page 32. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Jia, Koro Edase Jina Peksha Atina. Kripa Bindu Jia, Koro Edase Sakala Sahane Balajiya Koro Nijamane Sprihahina Nijamane Sprihahina Gurudev Sakala Samana Kodite Shakati Dehonata Jata Jata Sakala Samana Kodite Shakati Dehonata Jata Jata Chavitoka Ivo Harinama Suke Ivo Harinama Suke Aparada Behata Aparada Behata Aparada Behata Kritata Vivenata Shakti Bodhina Hamiyati Dina Kodamore Atma Sata Kodamore Atma Sata Gurudev Yogata Vichare Kichunahi Pai Tamara Karuna Sara Yogata Vichare Kichunahi Pai Tamara Karuna Sara Karuna Nale Kandiya Kandiya Karuna Nale Kandiya Kandiya Banana Kibawara Banana Kibawara Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Kodohe Dase Jina Peksha Dina Kripa Bindu Diya Kodohe Dase Jina Peksha Dina Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Thank you. 45? Page 45? Ki Rupe Pai Seva. You can play Mridanga too now. Ki Rupe Pai Seva Moidora Chara Shri Guru Vaishnaverati Nahailo Amara Kirupe Paivo Seva Mada Ashesha Mayate Mana Magana Ilo Vaishnave Telesha Macha Ratina Janmilo Vaishnave tele shamacha ratina janilo Vishaye boliandha Hainu divanishi Gale fashari tempire Maya se pisachi Ianta Ihare Korea Jai Jadano na Jai Sadhu Kripa Vinara Nahiko Apaya Korea Jai Sadhu Kripa Vinara Adosha Darashi Prabhu Patita Udhara Ebara Narotame Karaho Nishtara Darasi Prabhu Patita Ura Narotami Karaho Nishtara Kirupe Paibo Seva Moidora Chara Shri Guru Vaishnava Rati Nahoilo Amara Kirupe Paibo Seva Shri Guru Vaishnava Rati Hailo Ama Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Chinanda Gauranga Radhakam Prabhu Nityananda
Paramakaruna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gora Chandra Paramakaruna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gora Chandra Sabhavatar Sar Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda Sabhavatar Sar Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda Baja Baja Bai Chaitanya Nitai Shudida Vishwasakari Baja Baja Bai Chaitanya Nitai Shudida Vishwasakari Vishaya Chadiya Sarase Majia Muke Bolo Hari Hari Yacharya Serase Majia Muke Bolo Hari Hari Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gora Chandra Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gora Chandra Sabhavatar Sar Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda Sabhavatar Deko Ori Bai Tribu Bane Nai Emona Doyala Data Ori Bai Tribu Bane Nai Emona Doyala Data Pasupaki Jure Pasare Vidare Sunijara Gunagata Pasupaki Jure Pasane Jure Sunijare Gunagata Sangsare Majia Rahile Pajia Separe Nahilo Asha Sangsare Majia Rahile Pajia Separe Majilo Asha Apana Karama Bunjaye Saman Kahaye Lochana Dasa Bunjaya Sama Kahaye Lochana Dasa Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gora Chandra Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gora Chandra Sabhavatar Sar Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda Nita He Gora He Nita He Gora He Nita Gora Haribo 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 Nita Gora Haribo Nita Gora Haribo 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 Nita Gora Haribo
It's on page 343.
343. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva
Bhavantam Vande
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Manamanasa Madhukaram Apaya Nijapara Pankaja Makarande. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Yadyapi samadhishu vidyapi pashyati natava nakagramarichem. Idamichamini samyata vachuta tadapi kripa bhuta vichem. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Bhakti Udan Satyadyapi Madhava Natrai Mamatila Matri. Parameshwarata tarapi vitavadrika durgata gata navidatri. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Ayam avilolatya sanatana kalita bhutarasabaram. Nivasatu netyamiham nindini vidan madhuri masaram. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. 3-4-1. O Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. Oh, Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. O Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Damodararati Vardhana Vese. Hari Nishkuta Vinda Vipine Se. Se O Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. O Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Vishwabanudari Navasashileke. Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Visaki. Ke O Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varinata Sarite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Oh Jaya Radhe 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 Jaya Krishna 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 Jaya Radhe 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 Jaya Krishna Jai
My mantra?
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Wait, hold on, I messed up. There we go. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Beautiful, beautiful. That's my mom. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Gaura Premanande.
Agyanam timirandasya Gyananjanasalakaya Chaksurunmilitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tudalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Yang Pravajanta Manupetamapeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Taruvajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Benedos Tang Sarvabhutaridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vinay Aparadalakshay Chiptasya Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripamayi Tvang Sharanam Prapadyam Brinde Namaste Charana Tavaivasmi Najivami Tambina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tam Nayamam Charanantike. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nichalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Shrimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nichalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Shrimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti began Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our grandfather gurus, Sri Srimad Bhakti began Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates and all the assembled devotees, and the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus, who are my Shiksha Gurus, Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Ban Maharaj, and Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. So I know that I need neck exercises, but do I need to do them during class? There's so much space up front. Okay. And I know sometimes my mind is like a pendulum, but do I need to do it during class? Okay, so I know everybody here, see, it's such a duality world. Yesterday we had 100 guests, today we have no guests because they're not guests anymore. So since everybody knows about Krishna consciousness already, Champak, can you fix Rasa Bihari's tika? It's kind of falling down. Thanks. We'll just go right into the theme of the day, which is Q&A. So does anybody have any questions? And don't be shy to ask the questions, because you can know that whatever questions you have, other people will be glad that you asked it and they didn't have to. You don't have any questions. Oh, and the rule is everybody has to use a mic.
Hi, Krishna.
Do you have one?
Okay. So we were listening to a talk a few days ago. And the speaker spoke about how Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are the chief demigods of Lord Krishna. And so I thought that Vishnu was an expansion of Krishna, so how do we understand this?
Yes, you are correct. So I think most of us have heard about Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, that Brahma creates the universe, Lord Vishnu maintains it, and Lord Shiva acts in the destroying capacity. So that sounded contradictory, that they are all three demigods, when we know that Lord Vishnu is not a demigod or a devata. He is Deva himself. He is Krishna's expansion, and like if you have one candle that lights a lot of candles, one candle is the original, but the other candles also have that potency. So he's definitely God himself. So that's a misnomer. But they are the three superintendents of those three functions. Because maintenance is the hardest, therefore it's under the superintendence of Lord Vishnu. It's easy to start something, it's easy to destroy something. It's harder to maintain it. Okay?
Thank you.
So, it's a two-part question. how do we know when something is mental, like on the mental plane of something coming to us, like an instruction or guidance or understanding about something, and how do we know? And then at what stage do we know that we're either in line with Guru Varga or their teachings or Paramatma in that moment?
All right, so let me repeat that. When do we know the difference between what our mind is just telling us, which could be quite faulty, and which tells us this is coming from the Supreme, and when it's really coming from the Supreme through our disciplic succession? Well, one thing is if it's corresponding with Scripture, then we know. And if we've heard our Gurudev say it, and this is an application, like I'll tell you a story that happened to me in the early 2000s. If you see that painting over there of Prem Samput, that Krishna's disguised as can you all see? Krishna's disguised as a demigoddess. I can't see right now. There's Krishna's low and Radha's high. She's a little higher. And he has a pink sari on. So I was painting, and Gurudev said, hurry up and finish it, because the book is going to come out soon, which it wasn't really, but that's how he gets us to work sometimes. So I was painting it. I was painting all night, all day, and then night turned into morning. Morning turned into 6 o'clock. And that was the time, by the sun coming up, that was the time to say Gayatri. And so I was thinking that, well, this is more important than Gayatri right now. I can always do Gayatri later, but I'm in the middle of Krishna's hand. So I did a really beautiful hand. And I heard Gurudev telling me, because he had said it in class so many times, do the Gayatri in the nick of time, which means timely. That's very important. So then when I stood back, I saw that it was still a perfect hand, but it was in the wrong place. It was too high. So I had to lower it, so I had to do the whole thing over again. So that's an example of something coming from my mind, because it contradicted what I'd actually heard from him. But generally, we will make that mistake, because mistakes is one of our 4 disqualities as conditioned souls. That is, we make mistakes, tendency to make mistakes, to cheat, to have imperfect senses, and to be subject to illusion, like I'm this body. Isn't it obvious that I'm this body? And I don't know anything, but I'm teaching, so I'm cheating. And I make mistakes. Prabhupada gave the example of Mahatma Gandhi. They told him that day, don't go out, there'll be danger. Oh, nothing. And as soon as he went out, he was shot. So mostly we will make a mistake on that, because our mind we're so much controlled by our mind. I once asked Gurudev, because I was always blabbing everything that Gurudev was saying, thinking that it was the same as me always sharing everything that Prabhupada was saying. As soon as he said it, then later, then later, then later. And that's part of the reason I have such a good memory on it, because I started by saying it that minute, then again and again. But I made the mistake that a lot of what Gurudev was saying, which was fully in line with what Srila Prabhupada said, but a lot of the ISKCON devotees didn't know him well enough to know that. So they would be thinking he's saying something too high that Prabhupada would never say, but if you've heard the Chaitanya Charitamrita the last few days, you can't even imagine how high and amorous that is. So, yeah. So then we were, my god sisters and brothers and I, who were seeing Gurudev and actually sneaking to see Gurudev because it wasn't allowed by the institution, were getting criticized by that, oh, I was letting it out, all the things that he was saying. And then my god brothers and god sisters who were seeing Gurudev were also chastising me for not knowing how to discriminate who to say what to. So one day I asked Gurudev, I don't know who to say what to. How do I know? So he said, you will know, or the reason that you don't know is because you're on the platform of Vaidhi Bhakti, which means bhakti without any love and attachment, but just done because I know it's supposed to be done, and fear of repercussion if I don't do it. So when you come to the platform of Raganuga Bhakti, or spontaneous love, then your heart will tell you when and when not to. So what's the solution? Bhajan, praying, crying, meditating that my Guru is right there while I'm chanting, meditating on the prayers while I'm chanting, meditating on the pastimes that I've heard or read while I'm chanting, paying attention, pulling my mind, as Krishna says in the Gita, from whatever and wherever the mind may wander, due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. And one thing just came to me as I was saying that, which is that you can ask somebody outside yourself, and they might be more objective about it. Does that help?
Sometimes I remember an instruction you'll give, and that instruction seems to be applicable to many things at all times. So I never like doubt whether this should be done because I heard it directly from you. Then I'm like, oh, it's coming in my mind for a reason when I'm like hearing your voice say it. So that seems simple.
To be indicative that it's not coming from your mind.
Yeah, from my mind, exactly.
But if it's coming from mine?
Yeah. Well,
that would be awful. Very unfortunate. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So I remember your Ekadashi lecture in the evening. You talked about Lord Chaitanya's Boma Lila and how that contains Puri pastimes, but not in Svetadweep. And I was wondering what the significance of that was.
Of what was?
Of why Puri Lila is only in Boma Lila and not in Svetadweep, like the spiritual world.
Puri Lila is his sannyas Lila. And like when we say Gayatri Mantra, Gurudev said, you meditate on Lord Chaitanya in Navadweep. That is Bina Vrindavan. It's non-different from his Vrindavan pastimes, which are Nitya Lila, always going on. And the Sannyas Lila it's not temporary, but it's not eternal like an everyday thing forever in the spiritual world. It's to teach. He became sannyas to teach us and how one should be a sannyasi. And the Navadvip Lila is his sweet human-like pastimes, like in Vrindavan.
So does that mean he never takes sannyas in the Shvetadweep in the spiritual
Right,
sky?
it's Nitya Navadvip.
Okay.
Always Sankirtan, meditating on Krishna's pastimes at the same time of the day that he's performing his dancing pastimes.
Thank you.
Hare Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can you explain me this picture, please?
You mean Krishna behind Radhika?
Yes.
Okay, so there's four. In the spiritual world, there are pastimes of meeting and separation, because that makes, when there's a feeling of separation, it makes internal meeting more intense. And it makes the meeting after separation more happy. So there's four kinds of separation. And according to the type of separation, the meeting is more and more intense and longer. So the first kind of separation is called Purva Rag, which means before any meeting, when Radharani hears Krishna's name or sees him from a distance, or her friend Vishaka draws a picture of him, that's before they meet. And so when they meet, it's going to be a very brief meeting. And then the next meeting is called Man, M-A-A-N, which is when they play the human-like pastime of Srimati Radhika, feeling jealous anger. Now when there's jealous anger, again, if there's meeting, then it gets boring. Like you and your good wife have to have something, some tension, and then when that's over, the relationship becomes more sweet. Like if everything was just plain sweet, then even that gets boring. So there has to be some separation. Either she'll go away to visit her in-laws, or you'll have an argument, something, and then when it comes back together again, it's even better. So there's only Radha and Krishna in existence. They are the supreme absolute truth as a couple. Energetic and energy. Powerful and power. But in order to keep the pastimes new and be more and more enriched, she expands into innumerable friends, Sakis who are her friends, and Sakis who are her maidservants. So Krishna, in order to make the enthusiasm for their relationship more intense, sometimes he goes with her different expansions. And she has another expansion called Yogamaya, who directs and controls all the pastimes in Vrindavan, makes everybody forget that Krishna's God, that she's his pleasure potency, and makes them think in terms of ordinary human affairs. So Krishna is dancing with millions of gopis, or goes to their different groves and has loving pastimes with them. And then so sometimes she becomes in jealous anger, and then she won't talk to him. And then he begs her, please, I promise I'll never do that again. And then, so that's what's happening at that moment. And then it gets all reconciled, and then they meet again, and it comes to a higher level than before. So that's exactly what's happening then. Krishna's praying to Radharani, a Sanskrit verse that you find in Srila Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govinda. Smaragarala Kandanam Mamasi Mamashirashi Mandanam Dehi Parapalavam Udaram. That please bless my head with the beautiful dust of your lotus feet. In other words, I'm bowing down at your lotus feet, and I'm burning in a fire of separation, amorous separation from you. So please bless me like that. And then sometimes she does accept him under certain conditions, and sometimes she sends him away, which would create more separation. So the painting on top is after she sent him away. And then she's lamenting and repenting that, why did I send him away? He came to me so sweetly with his beautiful lotus eyes. Now what is the use of my youth? What is the use of my gorgeous opulent clothing or my ornaments if Krishna can't see it? That's the joint. And then the next kind of separation is when Krishna goes away cowherding during the day, and then they meet periodically. And then when he goes away to a foreign country, and then they meet after years, that's the fourth kind of separation and meetings. It's a great science.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you have a question?
My question is...
Can you ask it loud?
Yeah, my question is kind of two parts.
Can you put it closer? You have a very soft voice.
So I would like to learn more about Harinam and what...
You mean Harinam, the
blessing,
names, or the Harinam initiation?
initiation, and what that entails. And I'm also... the second part of my question is, what does one do when, like for instance, in my Vedic chart, my main devata is Shiva, but I feel also so connected to Krishna, so I'm not sure what to do when they're not. I know it's just an extension of Krishna. But can I be in devotion to both? And what does that look like? And how do I go about that? And how does someone go about that when they have a different devata in their chart?
What does a chart mean?
And the Vedic astrological chart.
But what does that mean? Does that mean that's your eternal worshipable deity, or something that's in relation to your body or tradition?
From what I've had people read my chart, and they have stated that that's like who I would pray to, or be, I guess, pray to more.
Only a pure devotee can see your soul and what your relationship is with who. So that's one thing. So let's put both questions together.
Okay.
If you're talking about taking initiation into Gaudiya Vaishnavism, where the worshipful deities are Radha and Krishna, then you'll know it's time when you understand how to worship Lord Shiva in relation to Krishna. Have you read the book Shiva Tattva?
No, not yet.
You can download it for free from, from purebhakti.com also. So it's explained in many of the scriptures, and it's also explained by Lord Shiva himself in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where he is in meditation and he's speaking to the Prajatyas, who are going to be the next kings of the world, because their father, King Puccini Barhisha, was the previous. So in order to become qualified, they did meditation under the water for thousands of years. Then they came up and they saw Lord Shiva, or they were going, I forget. They saw Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva said, I'm going to give you the best prayers. And then he says a whole chapter's worth of his prayers to Krishna, describing his qualities, his activities, his creative prowess, his relationships with his best devotees. He himself explains that. And in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, Shiva Vaishnavanam Yata Sambhu. You know the meaning? That of all the rivers, the Ganges is the best. Of all devotees of Krishna, Lord Shiva is the greatest. So if we have faith in scripture, then also in the Brahma Samhita, which is written by Lord, or spoken by Lord Brahma, the first created being of the universe, he explains how Lord Shiva helps the expansion of Krishna, Lord Vishnu, in the creation and in the annihilation. You know, he does the dance as Natabar. For 36,000 years, there's flood, first fire, and then flood, all over the universe. And why don't you remember? Because Maya is very strong and she makes us forget. Otherwise, we'd never be in an enjoying mood in this world. But we're just like somebody intoxicated on liquor, and he's so drugged out that he doesn't realize that he's lying in a drain and he's perspiring, and some dog's coming to him and licking his face because of the salt in his perspiration. And he's thinking, I am the monarch of all I survey. So Lord Shiva helps in the creation. There's a painting in the art book where he's Lord Vishnu is glancing over his illusory energy Maya, and Lord Shiva, I think it's coming. I think the painting is going to be flying in here in a minute. So the dim reflection of the glance of Lord Vishnu on Durga to connect with her, because he doesn't have a direct connection, because she's his illusory energy. He only connects with his internal energy. No? I'm looking for an open one. Oh, I see. Or 6th canto. Yes. So the Shiva Linga acts as the male genitalia. Huh? Generative organ. To unite, you see the black thing with the black plate.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, in reality, Lord Shiva is the dim reflection of the glance of Lord Vishnu, is connecting with Durga, who Prabhupada calls cloudy Durga because she's in an unmanifest state to begin with. By their connection, she becomes manifest, and then all the whole cosmic manifestation takes its shape. Then Lord Brahma, under the guidance of Krishna, he was ordered to create. So the first created beings, yeah, want to hold that up? The first created being is Brahma, four-headed Brahma. I think that picture's in there too.
Do you want the one with everything he's speaking, like the red background?
No,
I'm sitting on
the four Kumaras are standing there with the lotus leaves. So the first created beings are the four Kumaras. And he told them to get married so that they can procreate the universe. They said, we're not interested in getting entangled in married life. That's why we just want to be 5 years old forever. So he became so angry. this picture here. So he became so angry that from his, in between his eyebrows, came personified anger, Lord Shiva. And he immediately started destroying the universe. So his father, Lord Brahma, said, now is not the time. Just sit down and meditate, and we'll let you know when the time for destruction is, at the end of creation. And then at the dissolution of the universe, there's another picture of Lord Vishnu with, I don't think it's there, but it's in the third canto. Lord Vishnu lying on the bed of the snake Shesha, and so many flames are coming from his mouth. And then Lord Jiva does that dance. So he's serving Krishna in many ways. He also serves Krishna as Gopeswara in Vrindavan. He's the gatekeeper there. And without his mercy, no one can enter the rasa dance. I mean, there's so many pastimes together. And there are different kinds of relationships. So when you're sure that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's my worshipable deity, and I honor and worship Lord Shiva in his relationship with Krishna, then it's time to get initiation. Here, that's it. Haridas is the supreme finder of pictures, and Garagraja. It's on the cover too.
I learned from the Finding Acharya.
That's Vasanti. All right. So then when you're sure that you want to worship Krishna as a supreme and Lord Shiva in relation to him, and then when you're sure you have the guru who can help you go to Krishna, and that's a good time to consider initiation. That help?
Yes.
For both questions?
Yes, thank you.
Can you tell the Gopeshwara Mahadev pastime?
Okay. So Lord Shiva wanted to enter Rasa Lila. He wanted to enter the dance and see the dance, witness it. So he did severe austerities. And then Krishna's pastime potency, Yogamaya, she came to Lord Shiva and said, okay, I'll give you the boon that you want. You want the body of a gopi so that you could witness the pastimes and enter the Rasa Lila. So she took him and dipped him into a little pond. And then he came out with the body of a gopi. So then he was watching from outside. And the gopis and Krishna, who are always enjoying unlimited pleasure in the rasa dance, increasing pleasure unlimitedly at every moment. That night they weren't feeling so happy. So they said, there must be some outsider here. And so they looked and looked and looked, and they found Lord Shiva, but in the body of a gopi. And they said, oh, who's your mother-in-law? Where do you live? What's your address? And he couldn't answer it because she had given him the form, but nothing about himself. So, an imposter. And they started slapping his cheeks till they became swollen. And then Yogamaya came to the scene, and she said, oh, he is my Kripapatra, the vessel of my mercy. So please bless him. So Krishna said, okay, he can be the gatekeeper. He can be the gatekeeper, and no one will be able to enter the Rasa Lila without his mercy. So from that time on, he became Gopeswara Mahadev, Gopi Isvara, which means you can take it that he's the Isvara of the gopis. If you want Gopi Bhav, he can give you that. Or that the gopis are his Isvara, his lords. And there's even a verse glorifying Gopiswara Mahadev. If anybody knows it. Vrindavanavane pate jaya somamole sanak sanatana sanandana naradedya Gopisvara brajabilasi jugangri padme prema prayachani rupadi namo namaste. Can you read it, Tirthapad Prabhu? Loud.
O protector of the land of Vrindavan, O husband of Uma, O Somamoli, you who carry the moon on your head, O you who are worshipped by Sanandan, Sanatana, and Narad, O Gopeshwar, please bestow upon me unconditional prem for the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Krishna, who perform loving pastimes in Braj.
So, it looks like he became Gopiswara Mahadev after doing his austerities and then getting blessed. But actually, Gopiswara Mahadev is the original form of Lord Shiva. That's his most intimate service to Radha and Krishna. And then all the other forms, Sadashiva, Advaitacharya, Bhima, Madhvacharya, and so on, are expansions of him. But then he did this human-like pastime of becoming Gopiswara Mahadev. Like Krishna has a pastime of how he married Rukmini, but they're always married. That's eternal. Okay. Any other?
In Ram Lila, in Ram Lila, these rishis of Dandakaranya, that forest of Dandakaranya, there was these sages, and they they were like obtaining this level of Madhurya Bhava, or they were praying for it from Lord Ramachandra, and then he gave them the blessing to obtain that kind of relationship to him in Krishna Lila when Krishna appears in this world. So that Lila took place in Treta Yuga, whereas then when Krishna appeared ultimately, that was the end of Dvapara Yuga. So where they were in this, like the time period between these two Leelas, where there is the sages, where has it been described by the Acharyas or anywhere?
Not to my knowledge. How's
All
that?
right. All right. All right. Okay. So another
Interesting question, though.
Hmm?
Interesting question.
Exactly. I've been many times wanting to know this. Okay. So can I ask another question?
If I can answer it, you
All right.
can ask it.
Yeah. Thanks. So actually, this is also connected to this what I was typing. You had this typing seva between your Madhav Maharaj's questions. So darshan is taking place at the stage of prem. But what about then spurti?
So what is a spurti? Spurti means that when I reach a certain level of Krishna consciousness, I get an internal vision in my heart, not a mental thing, but the actual substance in itself comes as a vision. I'm not seeing them outside, I'm seeing them inside my heart. And an actual shakshad darshan or direct darshan comes when I reach the stage of prem, and then there's no more obstacles to me seeing them in person and relating to them in person, and that is permanent. Spurtis, visions, come and go. When they come, I forget my material or external identity, and then and I'm in the pastime, in that vision, and then when it goes, I'm weeping in separation. And then I'm weeping for that to come again, and then it comes again, and then weeping, and then another pastime comes. And then when prema comes, prema is too intense for the material body to tolerate. So then the soul gets transferred to the universe and the place where Krishna is performing his pastimes in the material world. As you know, he goes around with a road show.
Yeah.
So wherever he is at that moment, when you're leaving your body, you take the next birth there from the womb of a gopi. Even if you're going to be a coward boy, you can't take birth from a coward boy. So you take birth from a gopi, associate with the coward boys, and then at a certain stage, you become qualified to take your next birth, so to speak, in Goloka Vrindavan. That was one of the proofs that, because there was a opposing party, opposing to Shastra, opposing party saying that we fell from Vaikuntha, and they are also Prabhupada's disciples. So one of the proofs that we used under Gurudev's direction was that Prabhupada is saying, so when they go to Krishna Loka, they get to see Krishna for the first time.
This is a real comment. The first question Prabhu asked, you answered it just now in the second answer. And the first question he asked about where were the sages between one yoga and the next, right? And you just mentioned that they go in a road show with Krishna, not in this universe, but in different universes.
I once heard my Gurudev ask that same question, and he said that...
Wait.
No, that's not.
Someone once asked my Gurudev that same question, and he said that first, Krishna and Lord Ramchandra don't come in consecutive yugas, so it wasn't like Dwapara Yuga and then the very previous Treta Yuga. So actually it was a Treta Yuga, then several Chatra Yugas, cycles of the 4 yugas before Dwarka Yuga where Krishna came. So he said in total it was like I have to look it up, but it's like 80 to 800 million years in material world. The gap between, and his answer was very vague. So forgive me that it's not too specific, but he said that Krishna just arranged somewhere for them to continue their bhajan and sadhan throughout that time.
I was going to say that too, that they were just continuing until they were ready.
Just continue chanting their Gopal mantras that whole 80 million years or 800 million years.
So what hope is there for us? They were so advanced. Right. So even though I'm hoping against hope. And I have the Guru, and I have Lord Chaitanya, and I have the Maha Mantra.
I was listening to a class online the other day given by Tirthapad Prabhu. And someone in the audience mentioned that the problem in this temporary world is that Krishna is the only male, and that that's what's the problem is between husbands and wives and things like that. But as you mentioned today, the 4 Kumaras didn't want to get entangled in family life, so it seems that so I've also heard that it's better that if you don't have children, then it's like it's all sense gratification. So you shouldn't. Grihastha should have children. But on the other hand, I've heard that it's better to, if you can do it, do devotional service and not get entangled. So, which is it?
What's it in relation to?
which is it that one can? It's
Oh,
better.
you're saying which is better?
Yes.
Is that the question? All right. Oh, yes. Thanks. So tell me if this is right. If you're thinking about what to do, and you're not yet married, should you get married and not have children? Although you're hearing that Prabhupada said it's just sense gratification, or is it better to have children? Was that the question?
Some people say that if you get married and you don't have children, that's just sense gratification.
Now, you say the word that's.
That is. Yes.
You say the word that is. Same thing.
Yes.
What do you mean by that is?
That being married and without children is.
Why is it sense gratification?
Well, because you're going out here and there, going to the movies, but you're not taking responsibility to raise.
And if you're going to the movies and having children, it's not sense gratification?
Well, they're saying that
then you're just engaging your children in sense gratification.
No, I'm saying that I've heard that if you don't have children, then it's sense gratification.
It's is what?
Being married without
That's
children.
your addition.
No, that's what I've heard from some people.
Well, Prabhupada personally said that to me.
Mm-hmm.
When he told me and Satsvarup to get married. I said, would we have to have children? Said, if you don't, then it's just sense gratification. But his is, if you have sex life without having children, that's sense gratification. But married life can be not sense gratification if the two of them are fully devoted. Like, let's take Jayadev Goswami and his wife, Padmavati. There's no indication that they had children, but their life together was pure devotional service. Pure devotional service, where he's actually seeing the pastimes of Krishna's coming down in his trance, and Krishna's dictating his book, Gita Govinda. And then you have Padmavati, who Krishna personally came to her, face to face, disguised as Jayadev Goswami, and she personally related with him. And then when they both discovered that, while he was out of the house, Krishna personally came to her, they both fainted in ecstasy and began weeping profusely. So it's not that household life without children is sense gratification. Necessarily. It could be, and it could not be. You can have 20 children, and it could be all sense gratification. And you could have 20 children, and it could be all, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had 12 children, and he had 12 physical children, and he was a pure devotee, and his wife was also a great devotee. But as far as his children went, one of them was his real son, that is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, because he saw his father not as his material father, but as a maidservant, pure devotee. Does that answer the question?
Pretty much, yes. I've heard also that when you have children, it's so much responsibility that sometimes you have to put your bhakti on hold because you don't have time to chant. You have to like work so hard to come up with your rent payments and things like that. So, like you say, it seems to be better if you can do devotional service, go out in Harinam, and along with your wife and like that. And I don't see what's so bad about that.
Yeah, there's nothing so bad about it. There's nothing so bad about having children if the children are raised in Krishna consciousness. Like there was one girl named Janaki, and she had a little baby in Badger. And Gurudev asked, how are your chanting doing? She said, well, not so well since I had the baby. He said, how much do you sleep? Da-da-da, hours. We'll sleep less, but don't neglect the chanting. So it's up to the will, it's up to the heart of the individual. I'm not going to say that householders who have children are less than householders who don't have children. I'm also not even going to say that those who are not married are better than those who are married. There was one incident, this is described in the Gurudev's Harmony book, under the category of harmonious ashrams. So one sannyasi, they were on tour giving preaching in a certain city, and this sannyasi said, householders are rotten. They have nothing to do with bhakti. So Srila Gurudev wasn't there at that moment, but when he heard about it, he contacted his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and told him. And then Prabhupada called for that sannyasi, and he said, you're rotten. I don't even think you're initiated. So he wasn't making preference to one or the other. There was, so I'm glad you asked that question. I think you already knew the answer. So there was another one with Ramanujacharya, and there was some householders who were doing a lot of service, and Ramanujacharya was giving them a lot of attention. And they were saying, what are these bogus householders? And so his Gurudev, it was so long that I knew it so long ago. His Gurudev made an arrangement. He said, go to their house at night when they're sleeping and go and steal her bangles and her hand. So they went there, and one of them went in and tried to steal the bangles, but she was still sleeping. But he couldn't get the bangles. And then she told her husband, when they did wake up, that, it was a strange things happened last night. One of the brahmacharis or sannyasis were trying to get my bangle. I guess the temple was really poor. And I tried to turn over so that he could get the bangle, but he just ran away because he probably thought she was waking up. And meanwhile, the sannyasis, when they got cloth, they were fighting over it. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told our Srila Prabhupada, when we had this little small place, Bagh Bazaar, on one, Ultadunga Road, everything was fine. Everybody got along harmonious. But as soon as we got this big palatial temple, everybody started fighting over the rooms. I want this room. This room is mine. So I'd rather sell the temple and use the money, the bricks, sell all the bricks, and print books with it. So he was telling our Srila Prabhupada at Radhakund, so if you get some money, print books. Okay? Mm-hmm.
You remember the name of the king who was married with Ganga Devi, the father of Bhishma Dev, that he wanted to enjoy from her.
Yes.
But then when they were getting married, she said, yeah, but I only have one.
Yeah, it depends on the individuals. The wife can be the goddess of fortune or Maya. So Santanu Maharaj fell in love with the personified Ganges River. And then she said, okay, I'll marry you, but under one condition. You're never allowed to question me. No problem. You know, when a man's in love, like, wow, anything goes. I'll never have a problem. This is Romeo and Juliet all over again. So then everything was fine. They got their first son, and she took the son and brought it to the Ganges, and they went in and drowned the kid. And he wanted to say something, but he couldn't because he didn't want to lose her because he was so attached. So then that happened 7 times, and then finally the 8th time, he said, no, I have to stop you. Stop. She said, okay, here's your son, and I'm going. So that son was Bhishma Dev. But really, was she doing a bad thing? No, these were 8 Vasus who had been cursed for some offense to come to earth, and she was sending them back to the heavenly planets. But I don't know why I told that one, except that it depends on the individuals.
He wanted to enjoy.
He wanted to enjoy, and he was so attached.
Hello.
Hello.
Could I?
I want real life questions.
My question is, what was the light that this man here shed on the world?
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur?
Yeah.
Oh, we'd have nothing in Krishna consciousness if it wasn't for Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Okay.
Just like Lord Krishna but he is Lord Chaitanya and assumed the form of Lord Chaitanya. And so Radhika, took the form of, because Krishna wanted to understand and taste the moods of Radhika, what kind of love she has, and that makes him go mad. What is it about his qualities that drives her mad that even he can't taste in himself? And what's the happiness that she feels in that love that's millions of times greater than him? So in order to help Krishna out, Radhika said, okay, you can take my mood, because that was Krishna's desire, and I'm going to come and help you to experience my mood. So Radhika came as Gadadhar Pandit. And then Gadadhar Pandit later on manifested as Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So he's an amazing transcendental personality. He wrote about 100 books, so many poems, poetries that give realization when you sing them or utter them. And then in the spiritual world, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Kamala Manjari, who's a direct expansion, again, of Srimati Radhika. So we have a lot of his books here, like Jaiva Dharma, Bhakti Tattva Vivek, Bhajan Rahasya. Anything else? Vaishnava Siddhantamala. Practically, Prem Pradeep, Bhagavat Arka Marichi Mala. And practically 3/4 of our songbook is by him. And you know what mind control is?
Yeah, well, sure.
Or reprogramming, where somebody takes over. So when we sing his songs,
Reprogramming to something
like
else.
taking over your mind. Somebody else is taking over your mind.
Okay. So he allowed
He
this?
like
or-
he did it. He does it. He reprograms our mind from matter to spirit. Because all of his songs, when we sing them, prior to singing them, we pray to him that make your mood, which is full of realization and bliss, and weeping, to become realized in pure service in the spiritual world, to become a maidservant of Radharani. Make your mood my mood. Make your words my mood. And then many of his songs, if not most, are sung, when will I want to be, when will that day come that I. So by saying that, I,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes part of us, creates an impression in our heart, so that we start actually thinking like that when will I. So he's most powerful,
Could I
and
ask?
we're coming in his line.
Could I ask another question?
So I hope you can read all of his books.
We sing it, correct? Like in the
We sing the
mornings?
songs, but we don't sing the books. We read the books or hear the books, and they're all in the boutique. So we sing all the songs. You are singing them already.
We're singing them, okay. And I was gonna ask a second question. Is that okay? So, you said he's the physical embodiment of Krishna himself. Was that?
He doesn't have a physical, material body. He has a spiritual body that looks like a physical body. Just like Radha and Krishna don't have a marble body, but they make themselves look like they have a marble body so we can relate to them. So when it's time for one's material traversing the different species of life is coming to an end, then one gets the association of great sadhus. So he's giving us association through his songs and his books. And he's a manifestation of Gadadhar Pandit, the associate of Lord Chaitanya, who is directly Srimati Radhika herself. It's inconceivable. Like we think we got it, yeah, I got it, because I understand it intellectually. But Gurudev told me personally that intellectual understanding is no understanding. Like here, did you ever have a rasagula?
What is that? A rasagula?
Yeah, you didn't, right? Because you're saying what it is it?
I'm not. I don't know
No, you
these
have
words.
never had a rasagula. So I'm going to tell you about a rasagula.
Okay.
What it's like. Okay. It's about the size of a ping pong ball.
Okay.
It looks like a round sponge.
Okay.
If you bite into it, it explodes in your mouth. And it tastes like a combination of, say, honey, honey, sugar, and ghee.
I think I had that. It comes in like a liquid inside of a liquid. Yeah, I think I had it. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes in a liquid.
Yeah.
So the reason you understood me is because you had it.
Right.
If you hadn't had it,
yeah,
what would my words do?
It wouldn't make
Nothing.
Yeah. I got you.
Can I add one more thing?
Of course.
In his pranam mantra, it says Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gauda Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate. So he is the Shakti of Gauda.
What does Shakti mean?
Like that energy, that power.
Of Gaura, who's that?
Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
No, who's Gaur?
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Okay. So he's the power of Lord Chaitanya.
I have two follow-up questions about what we've been talking about. One is, how are we supposed to reconcile that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is in the spiritual world of Radharani / Gadadhar?
Not Radharani directly, but a manifestation of
okay.
Radharani.
And so Kamala Manjari is who he actually is, and Radharani is, like Kamala Manjari is the Shakti of Radharani.
She is a maidservant of Srimati Radhika, one of the most intimate.
Mm. Okay, cool. So that's my first question. My second question was about the 4 yugas. In Sanskrit, the word for 2 and 3 are dve and trini, and so like etymologically, I feel like Dwapara Yuga is the second yuga, Treta Yuga is the third yuga, and so why are they
It went
sometimes
backwards
switched?
this time.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know.
Why? Your Guru Maharaj said. My Guru Maharaj said.
That one said that it was a curse by Augusta Rishi
When Indra wanted to enjoy his wife once, there was a pastime when Indraji wanted to enjoy the wife of Augusta Rishi. And that's a whole other pastime that so long to get into. But after that, Augusta Rishi cursed both of them, and he cursed her as well until the next yuga. So she pleaded with him, please, it was not my mistake.
What's her name?
I forgot her name.
Ahalya.
Ahalya. So
Gautam Rishi.
Gautam Rishi.
Yeah.
Thank you. So so she said, Indraji came in your form. I was fooled. It was not my fault. So he said, okay, this is what we'll do. Because it's true, Treta is the third yuga. So what he did with his inconceivable mystical powers is he switched the order of the yugas. So then, instead of her having to wait to the following yuga, then Dwarpa yuga came next instead of Treta. So you know what I mean. I misspoke. He switched the yugas, so then Treta became second and Dwarpa became third.
Right. But so did this happen in Satya Yuga?
Yes.
Okay, so it came sooner that
Yes.
she would be able to
Because he told her you would have to wait until Dwarpa Yuga for your curse to end. So she pleaded with him. She said, why should I have to wait this long? So he said, okay, I understand what you say. What I'll do now is Dwarpa Yuga will come next. Yeah, Treta, which was the third yuga, would now become the second yuga, and Dwarpa, which was the second yuga, would now become the third yuga, which is why you notice that etymological root of like tree and Dwa.
Then why did he say you have to wait till Dwarpa Yuga? It seems that
because he already gave her the curse that you have to wait till Dwarpa Yuga, so what he did was he made Dwarpa Yuga come sooner.
But Ram didn't come in Dwarpa Yuga. He came in Treta Yuga.
Right. Treta Yuga preceded Dwarpa Yuga.
Then it must have been that he said, you have to wait till Treta Yuga, because he switched that around.
There could be some recollection error in what
I'm
saying.
Go ask your Guru Maharaj or look it up.
I have it written in notes somewhere, like in detail, but
the basic
gist
principle
of it was that the Rishi, due to the curse of his wife, he switched the Yuga order so she wouldn't have to suffer as long.
Good, but next time you come, which should be tomorrow.
Didi, can I refine my question?
Yeah.
About this Spurti and Prem, means
which
stage of soul's development?
Oh, so you asked that already, yeah. So Spurti comes in Bhava Bhakti, which is a very high stage of development of Krishna consciousness, where the emotions are transferred to spiritual emotions. Like right now I have hate, envy, longing, greed, hunger, but they're all in relation to the body. And I claim that they're mine, but they're not really mine. They're just a passing by of the modes of nature, and then they hit me, and then I claim that they're mine. So at the time of Bhava Bhakti, my spiritual emotions are awakened, and that is accompanied by spiritual sentiments of horripilation, hair standing on end, that is, weeping, skin pallor,ing, 8 ecstatic symptoms when my real life comes out. Okay, thank you. Any other life questions? Oh, what are your names?
My name is Arti.
Arti. Shubham. Okay, do either of you have any questions? Okay. You've been here before though, right? Really? You look so familiar. How did you happen to come?
We just moved here from Chicago. We were looking for a temple, and this is the closest one.
How did you find it? How do you know about it? Oh, you just Googled. Oh, right. Okay. So, anybody? So the offering is going on or going off?
Just now going on.
Going on. Okay. Tolerance. What about it? Okay, so what does tolerance mean?
Yeah, actually, what is their tolerance mean?
Okay. Should we go to the Bhagavad Gita? Matra sparshas tu kanteya sitosna sukadukada agama payino nityas tangstatikshas sabharata. O Arjun, the temporary appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course, right? You will experience that. Happiness and stress, happiness and stress, disappearance in due course are just like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons, right? They come and go. They arise from sense perception. Like Radhika will only come to Miami in the winter because she burns in the summer. She can't tolerate living in that body. And I freeze in the winter. So it's due to our different sense dictations. It's not really real. I'm not really cold. I'm not really hot. I just think I am. Now I think I'm being born. Now I think I'm in the womb. Now I think I'm dying. But it's all thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. So tolerance means that as dualities come and go, you are not affected by them. You don't experience happiness or distress, heat or cold, honor or dishonor. And Krishna says for one who can tolerate the dualities, he's also beyond creation and destruction of the whole universe. So first it starts intellectually, that like if I read the Harmony book, and I can see various things that Gurudev said, and I'll tell you one thing that Prabhupada said. Suppose somebody calls you a red shirt. Hey, you red shirt. Then am I nuts or what? Am I crazy? Now suppose you think, he called me a red shirt. Then you're crazy. So if I know that none of this really applies to me, like the next chapter in the Bhagavatam that we're coming to is Jada Bharat and King Rahugana. Jada Bharat, now in his third birth, after the birth of a deer, now he's a fully self-realized soul. And even when the dacoits were going to chop off his head and offer his head to Kali, the grotesque demigoddess who fulfills demoniac desires, he wasn't disturbed at all. He just depended on Krishna for everything. And so what happened was, just as they had their falcon and was about to chop, Kali, to protect the devotee of Krishna, she made her deity form, explode. And she jumped out of it, and she and her girlfriends all took the falcons and chopped off the heads of all the dacoits. And he wasn't disturbed at all. Before that, we read about King Rishabdev, who, in the course of time, after he renounced his family, he was in a forest, and all of a sudden, there was a forest fire, and he watched his body burn up, but he didn't even care. He didn't feel it at all. And then he just moved on. So tolerance means that you're not affected. You're also not affected by anger if somebody does something wrong by or has a different opinion than you. Then you work it out harmoniously, or you think, like a lot of times, being the so-called oldest devotee here, I see so many things that young devotees do. And so if I'm going to get disturbed about it, then I immediately think of all the things that I did when I was younger. or even yesterday. And then I immediately calm down and think, well, I got a little better, so they will too if they keep having nice association and following the programs, reading, hearing, taking only Krishna Prasadam. And so then I treat them lovingly, and if it's too bad that I really can't tolerate, then I can tell someone else who can help them or instruct them or change them. Sometimes we don't want to suggest anything to anyone because they might explode at me. So rather than say something, we're not supposed to eat with our left hand because the left hand is for dirty things, according to the scriptures. Then I'll just be quiet and let them eat with their left hand. So if it's something that I can't do because I'm afraid of them saying, leave me alone or whatever, then I can tell somebody who can tell them. Does that help? Okay.
But there are some things that we shouldn't tolerate, right? For example,
If somebody's blaspheming your Gurudev or Krishna or Prabhupada, like, for example, when Gurudev's Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, was on the planet physically, he was performing Ratha Yatra in Navadvip. And nobody was saying anything. But after he left, one of his god cousins, that is a disciple of his godbrother, started criticizing. And he wrote a terrible article how it's unbona fide to have Ratha Yatra in Navadvip. You're supposed to have it in Jagannath Puri. So then Gurudev read that, and he became on fire. And he said, if you tolerate an offense to your Gurudev, then you're a eunuch. So Gurudev wrote a heavy article with all kinds of shastric evidences and historical evidences to prove that it's quite bona fide. And so then the other party wrote, and they went back and forth for a year. And so Gurudev's article was printed in the Bhagavad Patrika, and then later on translated to English, and we have that really amazing. So he didn't tolerate it.
What if you're not able to? What if you're not able to? What if you're not able to? Well, I've heard you once say that if somebody is criticizing, you then attack the philosophy, not the person. What if you're not angry? If you're not actually able to like attack the philosophy?
If you can't attack the philosophy, then ask somebody, bring it to the attention of somebody who is qualified to do that, and beg them to protect the integrity, defend the integrity of your Gurudev. Once, one of my godbrothers wrote an article that Srila Prabhupada is a coward boy. And so he had really, really meager evidence. And so I asked Gurudev, I called him up. He was in one country and I was in another country. And so I asked him, do you want me to write an article? And he said, definitely. And then I said, what did you mean when you said to me, I forget whether it was on the same phone call or previously, what did you mean when you said to me, I'm feeling your separation? How can you, who's associating with all the Sakis, Sakas, Mother Yasoda, all the Acharyas, how can you feel separation from me? And he said, that's what I meant. I'm separated. I'm feeling separation from you writing the article. So he was very strong on writing articles to defend Gurudev, Guru Parampara, and all that. Oh yeah, why did I have both? Greedy. Yeah, this is the last.
One thing that I've noticed is that by directly associating with a sadhu, it like creates this like really great feeling. Like it's almost like because of their existence, it then creates like a more dense faith within me. And I'm wondering, so for me, I need to be in that because of my material condition. I need to be in that association to actually have that faith. Are the pure devotees that same way, or are they always thinking of us? Are they always there with us? Like, you know, like I have to be in the association. I have to physically, or whatever we call physically, like my stuff needs to be like near their body in order to have that faith. But they don't, right? And are they always thinking of us? Does that make sense?
Yes. Did it make sense to everybody? Who said that? Means that we need the physical association of pure devotees in order to have faith in Krishna. Do the pure devotees also need do they need anybody's physical, or do they think about us even when we're not there? In other words, do we actually really need the physical association or not, because they're blessing us from wherever they are in another country, another city? So I'll give an example. When I met Srila Prabhupada in New York City, and then he was going to San Francisco for the first time. And then I asked him, so we're going to miss you when you go. And he said, do you think that I would ever leave you? Don't think like that. I am always with you, and you are always with me. Then, you know Radhika's song, Gurudev. So in that song, Gurudev's voice comes on, and he says, always see me here with you, that I'm always with you. What to speak of them, even going up the disciplic succession. How do you read a book? Remember? Oh Prabhu, before you start reading. Oh Prabhu, you're not a book. You are Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur yourself. Srila Narottam Das Thakur yourself. Srila Lochan Das Thakur yourself. You're all the great singers. And you're Radha and Krishna and Lord Chaitanya yourself. Please, all of you, shower your mercy on me so that I can realize whatever you're saying as I'm sitting directly at your lotus feet and you're personally speaking to me. And please take away all my doubts in what I'm hearing from you, and ultimately at the end give me the service of Srimati Radhika. So Gurudev said, in this way you see the book as your personal Shiksha Guru. And his guru, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, also has a whole article about that, which was published in the Harmonist.
Have they always been thinking of us even before we've met them in this time? You know what I mean?
Yeah. They can make arrangements that we come to them. And like Gurudev often said, Prabhupada sent you to me. And Gurudev has the power to call for somebody to him. And all pure devotees. Your Gurudev. Okay, that's it. And it's time for Kirtan.
One thing really quick. Where do we find the article that you just mentioned?
The article in the Harmonist, I suggest that you, I'll send you Vaijayanti Maladiti's address. Huh? The one about Shastriya Shiksha Guru. Yeah. Oh, just ask for Santi. Okay. Yeah.
Shrimati Shamarani Maharani Ji ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo Rama Ramo Hare Hare. Yeah, help me. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, oh Rama Rama Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hey! Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Oh, oh, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. What? Oh, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Oh, Radhe 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 Govinda. Oh, Radhe 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 Govinda. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo, Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo, Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo. Oh, Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo. Haribol, 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 Haribol. Oh, 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 Jai Jai Radha. Oh, Jai Jai Radha. Oh, Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo. Oh, Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo. Oh, Jaya Radha Raman Bihari, Radha Raman Bihari Shri Radhe. Raman Bihari Shri Radhe. Oh, Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Radhe. Oh, Jaya Radha Ras Bihari, Radha Ras Bihari Shri Radhe. Oh, Jaya Nitai Goranga, Jaya Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga, Jaya Nitai Goranga. Oh, Jaya Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana, Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana. Oh, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Oh, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Oh, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Shila Prabhupada. Oh, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Shila Prabhupada. Oh, Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Oh, Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Oh, Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Oh, Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Oh, Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Are bolo Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Sham.
Jai Shri Shri Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radhavanod Bihari Jeev Ki Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Asto to the Sat Shri Shiman Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Asto to the Sat Shri Shiman Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Asto to the Sat Shri Shiman Srila Bhakti Pragan Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Asto to the Sat Shri Shiman Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ma Bhagwat Srila Gorkashore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Sachidananda Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Charja Srila Baladev Bijabhusam Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Viswanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshada Vrinda Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Antadreep Mayapur Samantadreep Kodudreep Madhudreep Koladreep Pritudreep Janadreep Modadrumadreep Brudadreep Amika Shri Navadweep Dhama Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopiko Govardhan Dwada Savanamika Shri Braj Mandala Dhama Ki Jai Dada Supavana Ki Jai Shri Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Tulsi Bhakti Jamana Ganga Devi Ki Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Prabhu Ki Jai Bhakta Pravarta Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai Bhakti Vigyam Vinasana Kari Shina Shringa Bhagavan Ki Jai Chari Dham Chari Sampradaya Charya Ki Jai Akaramat Raj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai Aur Ananya Sakamat Samuha Ki Jai Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai Shri Shri Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Shri Bhakti Vedanta Ban Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Shri Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj Ki Jai Samagata Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol Om Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshava Shicha Prade Devi Satya Vachai Namo Nama Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Dandavads, Dandavads, Dandavads.
Well, quick announcements. Basanti Didi, our temple president.
What's your name?
Shubham and Arti.
Hare Krishna Vasanti. I spoke to you on the phone. I think. Yeah. Cool. Welcome. Yeah. So we And thank you, everyone, for coming. Sunday program. Nice to see you again. We have a beautiful gift shop in the back corner there. Beautiful books and art. All the art you see is done by Shamrani Didi. She's one of the first disciples of Srila Prabhupada who brought the Krishna movement to America. So, yeah, very